I don't want to have like a lot of team members that are exactly like me, but I want them to
Right.
follow our checklist, right? And so we are constantly improving and adding to the checklist. I make it fail proof for them.
This is the truth, though. Real estate has challenges, and it's how you just kind of breathe and realize who's important to even talk to and stuff like that. Hey everybody, it's Kathy Burns here with Real Estate Riches, and today I'm joined by Erin Krueger, and she's one of Nashville's top producing realtors, and what a powerhouse. I just did a little background on her, and holy cow, this girl has started out as a solo agent, correct me if I'm wrong, now you got a full team. Is it all women?
It is. It's all women.
It is all women. I like that too. And just created systems on steroids, got a new book out, and we're just going to talk to this powerhouse and see what we can learn from her. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. So are you still doing production?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'm one of those interesting team leads because, as you get to a certain point of your career and of your business, you're kind of taught that you should pull back and, do less production. I do a lot less production than I used to. I used to be probably 90% of my team's business when I started a team, and probably about 50% of it now.
Still, big percent.
I have pulled back, but I'm still, obviously, if you're doing 225 to $250 million in production a year, that's a lot of production. And so, but I love it. I mean, I think I'm very passionate about it. And I think that's like one of the things that I just get something out of it. I love the art of the deal, and I love working with people, and I would really miss it if I didn't do it. It also keeps me very fresh and very into things. Especially the last 2 years, we've had so many things in our industry. And if you're not an agent that's able to adapt and to change and to pivot, you're going to be left behind.
Yes.
And so for me, I love being in production. I love being able to really foster education on my team and give advice, and knowing that I'm in the trenches just like they are. But over the years, it's going to be pulled back. Now it's 50%, and it'll be 40%, then 30%. And I've got a succession plan, that's built in, later down the line. So we set the team up for success.
I love that. So one of the key things that I saw, and it could hear your passion because I think it was on your website where I saw it, and you talked about the systems that you put in place so that even though it was a system, it wasn't, a clone of you. It was a system of how to do things so that their personality could come into play. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to have a bunch of Erin Kruegers on the team. I want to have complementary partners. I really believe that if you have your systems and processes really dialed in, that they can be fail-proof, right? It's a checklist, it's a process, it's expectations. And when your team members buy into that culture and buy into the process, it can be a flawless transition. And so you can put your personality and your spin on it, but the service is still the same, missing any of the steps. And there's templates and there's different things just along the way to make you be very successful in the role. I think I get a lot of questions from team leads across the country. And they're like, Erin, how do you get them to follow the checklist?
Yeah.
Right? They're all 1099 contractors. And the bottom line is there's no other choice. I mean, that's what it is. If you want to be on my team, we work to a certain level. And that is 110%.
This is the truth, though. Real estate has challenges, and it's how you just kind of breathe and realize who's important to even talk to and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I don't want to have like a lot of team members that are exactly like me, but I want them to follow our checklist, right? And so we are constantly improving and adding to the checklist. I make it fail proof for them at the end of the day. I give them all the systems, all the processes, and they follow it and they put their personality spin on it. Their clients love them, but they get the service that they know that they can get from the Erin Krueger team. And I think that's really, really important. And I had said before, agents come to me and they say, how do you get them to follow the checklist?
Yeah.
On my team, there's no choice. Like when you come onto the Erin Krueger team, it is high systems and processes. And that's how you survive. I always say, listen, We are doing a lot of transactions. We do a lot of volume, and it's like a speedboat. And you're going to learn as we navigate the seas, right? And I'm going to put a life jacket on you and I'm going to push you off the boat. Start, girl, start kicking. I'm
Yeah.
going to let you drown.
Love
I'm
it.
here to help you. But at the end of the day, the way that you learn the most is by jumping in.
Yeah. It's so true. So
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So how did you even come up with the systems initially? Did you do some, I mean, you didn't have ChatGPT.
When I've had a team for, gosh, I've been in real estate for 20 years. I was a
Mhm.
solo agent for 6, and we didn't have ChatGPT, so I couldn't throw in checklists and things like that. But I learned through trial and error. I think when I was one of those agents that thought, "Ugh, I never want to have a team." Teams were just starting.
Mm-hmm.
The best reputation in my area at the time. And so it really came out of necessity. I was one person, I was doing nearly 300 deals a year by myself and an assistant. And
Oh my gosh.
it was insane. I was losing weight, probably losing hair. It wasn't a great place. I didn't have a life.
Yeah.
You have to make a change and you have to say, I love what I'm doing, but there has to be something better here, better systems and processes. So I had to give myself a pep talk and say, get your stuff together. And I tell a lot of agents that do not have systems and processes, the best way to start is to get your voice app out and start talking about the different things that you do throughout the transaction.
Good
So
idea.
if you are preparing for a listing, what does that look like in preparing for a listing appointment? What does it look like as you prepare for photos? Right? You got a photography checklist, the day of photography checklist, like all of these things, even down to the transaction management. So these checklists have been worked on for years and years and years, 15 years, and massaged and added to and taken away. And we are still, I had a call with my transaction manager this morning and we're changing things on our checklist, committed to being better tomorrow than we are today for our clients. And I
Yeah.
think that is the mark of a really good team and a really good professional, that we're always growing, we're always going to change, and we're always going to be able to give that 110% white glove service that people know and expect. And they may never have felt a little blip along the way, but we've known it. I mean, how many times have any of us had issues that were like, you were like, oh my gosh, if my client would even know what kind of hoops I've jumped through to get them here to this closing table, but you just don't say it, right? It's just not worth it at the end of the day to go in. This is an uplifting, this is a positive experience for this buyer, and to make it super seamless. But at the end of the day, you know that you were able to, get over all of these hoops. So
Yeah.
it's kind of what we do.
Yeah. I love that. My client's calling me right now. I'm just going to let him sit there a minute. So, because he's in a screaming mode right now. That's what he does. He'll get really rampant. So I'll just let him.
Great. Calm down. That's what they've got to do. I've had
Yeah.
clients too that, like, even in negotiations, they're like, this guy is horrible. They're trying to do X, Y, and Z. You tell him to go, take this and, shove it where the sun doesn't shine. And I remember I would just sit down with the phone. I was pretty much working on some other things. I let them. And then 10 minutes later, the husband calls me and goes, did you call the other agent? I said, no. He goes, good. This is our counter.
Oh,
So it's like sometimes I just need some time to decompress,
yeah.
think about it. And I think a lot of agents are reactionary
Yes.
instead of being that calm expert and letting people know that this is a heightened emotional business that we're in,
Isn't it?
and we're that calm expert that's
Right.
there. And so it's just sometimes they just need some breathing room.
Yeah. Yeah, so I totally agree with that. Well, I love the systems. That was I had an assistant early on, and I said, "Listen, I need you to figure out everything that we do. I need it color coded. I need it for buyers. I need it for sellers. I want all the checklists so that as soon as we've got a buyer, you just hand me the packet and we can go through it here and tell me my parts and your parts so that we all know who's got what roles, so I'm not duplicating it. But I want to be able to see it. Now you can do it all online, but back then it was just all in a binder and we had our different stuff and we had our clients on the board behind us. But it's much more sophisticated with tech today, which is great.
It is. It is.
Now tell me how you're incorporating tech into your team.
Oh gosh, I mean, tons of different ways. I mean, obviously we're using AI a lot through, we're actually transitioning our transaction management portion to it to a system that actively uses AI. So when we have our templates that we've been using that are going to be set up into the system, and the contract is uploaded and knows the contract, so it will pull out the dates.
Get
It will
out.
pull up and it pre-fills everything. So
Mm.
instead of processing a file that would take a transaction manager an hour to do, it
Mm-hmm.
will pre-fill everything immediately. Now you still need the human
Yeah.
for error, right? So to double check everything, but all four of the emails to the client, to title company, to the agent on the other side, to inspectors, like everything is pre-done and ready to go within.
Wow. So let me ask you this. What's the name of that system?
So it's called A-Frame.
A-frame.
Yeah, and it's a transaction management system, but there's tons of different transaction management systems out there that can work. We're actually looking at building our own right now.
Hmm.
There's so many different software systems out there that can help you build just different kind of structure. So you can go on to, like, I think it's like Base 44 or something like that. There's all these different AI things where you can just put in prompts. I need a dashboard for all
Right.
of my transactions, and I want to put this checklist and this checklist and this checklist in, and I want my listing partner and my director of operations to have access, and then agents can also plug in their address for their listings, and the checklist will pop up. Create something, boom, and it
Wow.
creates something, and we can pay, $50 a month or something like that to be able to do that. So we're working on building something right now on the listing side that's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit different than the transaction management side. And it may work, it may not. I mean, we have a system that we've been using and working for the last couple years, and we have a dashboard that we built years ago, but technology changes, technology evolves, and you have to learn to pivot, and you have to say, okay, is the money being spent better over here? Because if you think about it, if you have a transaction manager and she's spending an hour to do a file, my transaction managers are licensed. So if they are able to free up their day and, process a couple files, audit a couple files, they might have 4 hours left in their day to be able to do other things on the team that can help us get to the next level. So it's about being efficient and being smarter and freeing up their time so they can still help us do other things, because there's always things to be done on the team.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
Yeah.
I love that. And for me, like technology, just 2 days ago, Sam just notified everybody about GPT that Zillow is going to be in the middle of ChatGPT. So I saw agents freaking out. Well, what is that going to mean? Well, it's smart on Zillow's part to be part of that search component so you can look at homes and places that you're moving to. They're doing it anyway. And
Right.
so they're just doing it on Zillow's platform. Now they're doing it within GPT and Zillow's platform, and they're combining it. You still need the agent. You still need the person. So people are kind of freaking out on that. But my point is, technology is updating itself at such a rapid pace that if agents aren't paying attention to this, they will lose, because
Well,
it's absolutely critical for the industry. And I teach agents all over the country and in other countries how to just do the basics, to understand the different platforms, how they can incorporate Gamma, to do their presentations, how to use Lovable to create different platforms like that. There's so many.
44 is just like Lovable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So and see, people aren't even going to know what we're talking about. And that's my point. You need to know these different platforms now, and you're going to use them for different case scenarios. And even ChatGPT can say, I'm looking to do this and this and this. Which one of all these different platforms that are out there should I even consider? Give me my pros and cons. All of that's so important.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, it's also about being smarter. I mean, every single Tuesday we send out our seller updates.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't want to send the same analytics out to our sellers. They don't want the same old thing. They need, every single week needs to be different, very interesting information about their listing, the marketing that's happening, all of this. Well, we
Mm-hmm.
can set up a prompt that pulls all of this information.
Yep.
And instead of a licensed team member on my team pulling the feedback and prepping it I mean, we carry a lot of listings. I mean, we have over 60 listings. And so,
Wow.
that takes a lot of time between
Yes.
Sunday to Tuesday when they go out. By the end of business is the goal, to get them out.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be approved and all that kind of stuff. So it's all time. And
Yeah.
so being able to have prompts set up to help us be more efficient is key.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think, You always need the human element to review it and to tweak it. I mean, I throw stuff into ChatGPT all the time. And even though it has my voice and it knows how I operate, you need to tweak things and get your eyeballs on it and stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Nobody replaces the human at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Use these as complementary tools, and some are extremely good. But I think that, and they're going to get better and better. And I think that, there's a lot of talk about people replacing us and doing things like this. But at the end of the day, people want the human connection.
Yep.
And I think that people can go to the internet and get tons of information. But at the end of the day, they really do want a professional to advise them through the process.
I totally agree. I think it's so critical. And you just recently wrote a book too. So tell
Yeah,
us about that. Capture the Culture. I loved it. And
capture the culture.
I just got it. I just ordered it on Amazon.
Thank you. Yeah, we have it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, anywhere books are sold. And then there's also an Audible because I know a lot of realtors,
That's
sometimes
what I got.
exactly. It's easier for them to pop in the Audible. And I did the voice on that, which was great. It's an easy read.
Hmm.
One of the things, I'm an avid reader, and I wanted to be able to put a book together that really inspired people, number one, also gave some really good takeaways. And you don't have to be in real estate to be able to implement this. This is for anybody who has teams, right?
Wow.
I had a pharmaceutical sales VP that emailed me, didn't know them. They said, I read your book. It was awesome. I bought it in my entire team.
Wow.
So there are people in other industries that are reading it and getting something out of it, which is great. I think I focus on, my story, and I grew up in the North and I moved to the South, right? And so if anybody's ever done that, it's culture shock. It's very, very different, right? And so I think that alone, being a young woman in an area where it's all like, where are you from? Where you go to church? Who you know? All of this type of stuff. I'm very close knit. And then here I am, this Northern gal busting up, and I ended up being a number one agent in Tennessee. It's very possible. So when agents say to me, well, I don't know anybody, neither did I, sister. Right. And so
Right.
you can do it, but you got to work really hard and you have to be exact in your standards. That what people don't understand is they see these TV shows and they think it's so easy, and it's not.
No.
You're really good. It's not easy at all. And there's years that are better than others. And
Hmm.
you have to be able to ride the ebbs and flows of real estate.
Yeah.
But the one thing that has to remain is your consistency. You have to be consistent in what you do.
I
And
totally agree.
getting in your CRM, touching your network, getting out there and looking at different verticals of your business so you can grow. There were moments of my career that were pivotal in getting me to change my business into to the area that it is now. Case in point, during COVID, my average sales price in COVID at the height of right beforehand, we had sold over 500 and some homes a year. Our average price point at that time was probably right under 500,000. And now,
Hmm.
fast forward now, we do 200 transactions a year. Our average price point is about $1.3 million.
Wow. Leveled up
That is
on
a
purpose.
that is a huge change, but to have the trajectory and change from first-time home buyers, move-up buyers to luxury clientele is really, really important. And I think it's just one of those things where I really focused on growing my luxury business.
Hmm.
And how I did that was during COVID. I looked at my data on my website and I saw that there were a ton of people from California and a ton of people from Chicago that were coming to my website. And I called my IT guy and I said, listen, a couple years ago, I was in Miami and I was at the 10X conference. And there was a guy by the name of Russell Brunson who spoke about ClickFunnels. And
Hmm.
I really thought it was a very cool kind of marketing technique. And I bought his system, but I didn't execute it well.
Hmm.
Like, it didn't have good results, but I
Hmm.
always remembered the process of it. So I was talking to my IT guy and I said, but I have an idea now and I think that we could implement it. And so
Hmm.
what we did is in March of 2020, we started to put out digital ads in California and in Chicago, which
Oh,
were our
wow.
markets. And it said this, it said, why are all the Californians moving to Tennessee?
Ooh.
So that evokes somebody to wonder why, right?
Hmm.
You click on it, it's the top 10 reasons why Californians are moving to Tennessee. And at the bottom of it, and it has fun stuff. It has, of course, low property tax, no, income tax, wide open spaces, Nashville hot chicken, Southern hospitality. Like, it has everything that's there. But then at the bottom, it says, click here for a free relocation guide. That's the free push, right? So of course they want something free. They want to know about the areas. They click it, they put their information in, and within 2 minutes, my agents are calling them.
Wow. Love this.
And so we converted buyers that weren't $800,000 buyers. These were not $1 million buyers. These were $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million buyers. And so, because it was the luxury markets of other areas that were, leaving these other states. And so by having the buyers, we then were invited to the table for listings.
Wow.
So we ended up, becoming, a listing luxury business. And it's one of my verticals. We have a luxury division. We have a relocation division. We have our regular like buyers and sellers. That was our SOI forever. I call them my OGs, my original. We've got our investor division.
Wow.
And my business is made up of, I've got 14 real estate ninjas on my real estate team. And we want to be able to serve the billionaire to the first-time home buyer, the grandson. So if we want somebody to think, oh, well, my child is buying a townhouse or buying a one-bedroom condo that's $400,000 downtown, I can't call Erin because all she does is properties. We've really been committed to letting our clientele know who we are, which is your real estate advisor. So it doesn't matter if you're thinking about buying, a commercial property, a residential property, even if I have to refer it, or you're moving to a different part of the country, come first.
Yeah.
Let me get you with the best person. If it's us, if it's local, if it's a commercial broker, if it's somebody out in Scottsdale, Arizona, let me know because I will make sure that you're taken care of because that's the service.
Yeah. It's really about getting raving fans who want to give you the best. I love that funnel idea. I work with agents who are buyers who want to buy globally. And so I'm going to put that idea in my funnel for exactly that, like moving to Portugal. Why is everybody moving to Portugal?
Absolutely. It'll work.
And I know where they're coming from, so I can do those ads that way. So that's awesome. I love that. Well, this has been great. I really appreciate it, Erin. I've learned a lot from you. Any other little tidbits you'd like to share with everybody?
I think at the end of the day, one of the main things that a lot of people ask me, certainly with teams, is how do you keep people there, right? Like how do they stay? Because we have a kind of a turnover of every 7 years in terms of the team. So the team does stay for a long time. And, I have people that have been on the team for 11 years, which is, and so I'm really, really lucky, but it starts with hiring the right people.
Yes.
And in my book, particularly I feel there's a fail-proof step system on how to figure out if they're a culture fit. Because at the end of the day, you can teach real estate and I can teach real estate. We show that can we like get them to have a good attitude? Can we have them show up on time? Can we actually have them care about what they do? There's so many people that just want to check a box and don't care. It's like I can tell when somebody cares when they make a mistake and they think about it longer than they should.
Yeah.
About it and they don't want it to ever happen again. Those are the types of people that I want. I want hustlers and people with grit. And so there are questions that I ask, questions that are in the book. There's a step process that I believe that are fail proof in finding the right people because the worst thing that you can do is make a hire.
Yeah.
That is the wrong hire.
Yeah, totally.
Because your time is your most valuable asset.
Boy, I love that. I can't wait to listen to the book. I bought the Audible, so I can't wait to listen. This is wonderful, and I appreciate having you on here so much.
Likewise, this was great.
All right, girl. Well, thanks again, and everybody, be sure and get her book, and it's called, what is it?
Capture the Culture. And you can also go onto my website, which is for the book called capture-the-culture.com. There are free quizzes there. So if you are a team lead, you can find out what kind of leader you are because you might think you're a great leader, but there's also downloadable surveys for your team members anonymously to also kind of tell you. So it's also like figure out where you are so you can figure out how to be better.
I love that. I love that. I went to that and I saw the red flags one. I thought, boy, there's good stuff in here.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, make sure you check it out. So thanks again, Erin. I appreciate it. And to all of you, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning into Real Estate Riches with me, Kathy Burns. If you'd like to explore potential partnership with me at eXp Realty, then let's book a strategy call and see how it would look in your eyes. And if you're thinking, man, I'd like to have a conversation with Kathy Burns. Maybe I'd like to be part of this eXp company and see what it's all about. That sounds good to me. Let's book a strategy call and let's have a talk. No pressure, but man, it's worth a conversation. The link's in the description.